Hi, my name's Adam Fitch. I'm the editor of Esports Insider, which is a business-to-business esports publication, and I'm a freelance journalist that covers the business of esports as well. So how I got into journalism, esports journalism specifically, and one of the biggest tips I have kind of go into one, and that's networking. So building up a good source network, a good portfolio of people you can reach out to at any point to get some information is incredibly important. They say it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that's incredibly true in my experience at least. So I believe reaching out to people and emailing them, DMing them, asking them to meet for coffee, whatever it may be, is incredibly important, as you need to have a place where you get the potential leads on stories, you know. So a lot of people say to me, but I'm scared of rejection as such, and it's like, well, the worst thing that can happen if you ask someone something is they can say no. That's literally, you know, and you just move on and ask the next person. So I'd say getting over the fear of rejection or being ignored and putting yourself out there and introducing yourself, trying to provide value to people before you kind of expect from them is incredibly important. So yeah, reach out to people, however that may be. There's so many different ways. There's LinkedIn, Facebook if you have to, even though I don't think anyone really uses that anymore. You know, as I say, meeting them, giving them a call, whatever it may be, going to events, going to conferences and such. Building up a network of people who you can kind of lean on for stories and to hear inklings from and then confirm stories later on is incredibly valuable. And yeah, networking is definitely a underappreciated and underacknowledged kind of sector and an important aspect of journalism, especially in esports.
Hey guys, I'm Jack Stewart, a freelance esports writer, and I was the first full-time esports journalist hired by a British newspaper. I studied sport journalism at the University of Brighton. Advice to you guys, and a lot of people will tell you this, is to write as much as you can, whether that's for a blog or if you can find voluntary or paid work. I did some paid work in my spare time when I was at university. It's really good practice, and it will build up a portfolio which will help you get jobs in the future. And it sounds weird, but take opportunities when they come up. Riot Games called my bluff when I said I was an adaptable writer and asked me to do script writing, which I'd never done before, but a year later I absolutely love it. Go to events, try to get to events and meet people, get into Twitter DMs and get to know people as well, because it's a small industry and that will really help as well. And also reach out to writers. Myself and a lot of other people are always happy to help and give feedback. I know how scary it can be getting into this industry for the first time, so feel free to send me any questions you have.
Hi, my name is Matt Porter and I'm a freelance esports journalist. I've been working in esports, video games and traditional sports for about 8 years now. And I say my biggest piece of advice is to just get out there and be sociable within your industry, no matter what you're writing about. You might be talking to people who can help you get your next commission or find your next big story, but you'll also be forging relationships that go beyond work as well. Like the esports industry isn't that big yet still, so you'll be seeing a lot of the same people at tournaments and events, and they all talk to each other, so making friends is important just as much as writing is. If you're going to be a freelancer like me, then you're going to be spending a lot of time working at home. If you're doing that, you need to look after yourself as well. Staying focused on your work with all these distractions around you is key, but you can go too far in that direction to take regular breaks. You need to exercise, and this is my biggest piece of advice: get yourself a really good chair, because you're going to be sitting down a lot. Best of luck.
So what is esports journalism like? It's a very big space with lots of people, which means there's also going to be a lot of opportunities. It's one of those rare industries where everybody knows everyone, so it's very easy to make friends. It's very easy to try different things if you ever feel like you're moving from one specific esports title to another. So don't ever be afraid to do that, which leads me on to some advice I wanted to give you. Like the one I just said, never be afraid to try new things. You might think one title isn't really for you, but you really never know if you like the teams, the players, the scene, the tournaments, until you actually try them. So something like League of Legends is really, really different from CSGO. So I would just say try absolutely everything you can. One of the other most important things is networking. A lot of times, friendships and jobs even are found and given and exchanged networking places, whether it's a conference or whether you meet someone at the tournament and it's an after party or drinks. You always go to those, always make friends, because you never know who might like your work or want to work with you. And lastly, there is a lot of different writers out there, a lot of different journalists out there, but try and find your own style. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to go after the stories that you want to tell. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, one more thing I guess is just the fact that there will be a lot of rejection. So players might not want to do interviews on a specific day. Don't take it personally ever. Teams might not want to speak to you. They might have had a bad day. They might have lost. Like Fnatic, they're very well known for not doing interviews after they lose, which is completely fine. It's not your fault. Don't ever take that as anything personally. And at the same time, your pitches to editors might not always get accepted. Again, just go away, redo it, think of something more interesting, come back and try again. It's not the end of the world. And if that editor doesn't like your story, take it somewhere else. Just basically try and stand out and be yourself, and it should all be fine. I mean, they gave me a job, so.